What is happening, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming to you live, breaking down this upcoming DraftKings slate. Before we begin, hit like button. We definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps me a ton, as y'all know. Presenting sponsor of the show is Underdog Fantasy. Go check out their NHL stuff. NHL season starts tonight, which I'm excited about. Definitely go check out their pick'ems and such. But let's start off with Dallas at Charlotte. So on the Dallas team, Porzingis saw 19 minutes, which you like to see. Luka saw about 18 under 20 minutes, which I don't really want. So look at that price tag is not really worth it in my opinion at 8.8, but I can go elsewhere. So kind of where I'm looking at is that Porzingis price tag. I don't mind that at 7.2. Jaylen Brunson, I mean, we didn't really get much, if any, of him. So I'm not really on Jaylen Brunson, to be honest with you. If we look at Dwight Powell at 16 minutes, again, if he can hit value at 5.3, I don't really mind it. There's not much I want on this Dallas team, though, with the minutes all spread out. All anywhere from 16 to 20 minutes. Nobody's really seen more than 25 other than Green, which he saw exactly 25, which I'm not really on much of Dallas. If it's just Porzingis, then that's pretty much it for me. But looking on the Hornets side, so we have no Terry Rozier. So let's start it off with this team. So looking at their stats, they lost to the Heat last game when we saw Miles Bridges saw about 31 minutes, which you like to see that out of him, and one of the Martin brothers, which was at 31 minutes. So I like that out of him. I definitely do like Cody Martin. Make sure you get Cody Martin at 5.3. So then McDaniels at 32 minutes, we saw PJ Washington hit 20 minutes, but he was just in foul trouble. I don't really want much of him at 5.4. And then looking at Bouknight, 25 minutes, I don't really want much of him, but you can see the value at only 4.9. I could see him getting there for you. And like I said, Jalen McDaniels at 4.5 is the guy I want. And that's really kind of what I am looking at on this team. Let's go to Memphis at Indiana. So on the Memphis side, so you already see a bunch of O's, which you know what that means. A bunch of guys are going to be out. So we kind of need to play it simple. If we look at this Grizzlies team, so no Jaren Jackson, obviously no Jay Morant, no Steven Adams, no Dylan Brooks, no Melton. Lots of guys are out. No Anderson, no McDermott. So let's just go to the depth chart instead on the Memphis Grizzlies. So Conchar, 20 minutes. He didn't really do much. At 4,000 though, he's going to need to get the minutes. So this team is obviously going to be tight. So Tillman I like Brandon Clark. I like all this Memphis team, especially Tillman and Clark. I like Culver to run the point. Now, he's going to have to step up. I mean, look at this. Sam Merrill, we know he's a good three-point shooter. I want all of this Memphis team. If this is how it's going to be, I want all of this team because you're going to have to fill in without you. You know they're guaranteed minutes. It is what it is now. You're going to have to basically fill in your team with a bunch of Memphis Grizzlies. So, it is what it is. You fill them in and you go. It's going to be chalk. We know how this is going to go. But you cannot, you basically cannot pass up the minutes that they're getting based on the projected lineup. Let's go to the Pacers now. So, on the Pacers, obviously no Karis LeVert, no Brogdon. So, Sabonis. Obviously in the smash spot, if this is going to be a blowout, but I want him at 8.3. I want him more so than Luka, obviously. Jeremy Lamb, 18 minutes. I could see you get to him. Durante, 20 minutes. I like that out of him. If we want to look at Miles Turner, 24 minutes. I like the matchup for him. TJ McConnell, 21 minutes. Okay to me, but there's not really much that is basically sticking out to me. I mean, like I said, maybe some Miles Turner, but somebody's got to pick up the slack for no Brogdon. So, let's go to Boston and Orlando, the third game on this slate. So, on the Boston team, we obviously see a bunch of O's again. No Jason Tatum, no Jaylen Brown, no Marcus Smart, no Al Horford, no Dennis Schroeder. So, this opens up a ton. No Josh Richardson. So let's go to the depth chart. Peyton Pritchard. I love him. Last game we saw him hit about 17 minutes. He's going to be more. He's going to play much more. Arconado at 4,000. He's going to play more minutes. He only saw 5 minutes last slate. Didn't really do much in that. But he's obviously going to have to play. Romeo Langford. I love him either way at 19 minutes. Aaron Nesmith. We know the upside that he brings to the table in 15 minutes. I like that out of him. I mean, again, this is all about minutes. You're going to have to basically fill in minutes. Grant Williams, I like that. Only saw 16 minutes, but it's going to be much more. Herman Gomez saw 9 minutes last game. So, I'm going to fill in my teams with Memphis and Boston. I'm going to have to. On the Orlando side, no Kiki, no Fultz, no MCW. Lots of guys are going to be out. So, give me Mo Bamba. I love Mo Bamba at 7'3". He's a point per minute guy. We know the upside that he brings to the table being on the defensive end. Terrence Ross, 26 minutes. If we look at Terrence Ross's salary, only 5'2" for Terrence Ross. You know, he can get you there. Like I said, Mo Bamba, Gary Harris. I like that at 4'9". Cheap. Jalen Suggs. I like that at 5'1". These guys are playing condensed minutes. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for those guys. Moving on to the next game. Let's look at Detroit at New York. So, pulling up Detroit, Jeremiah Grant was a downfall last slate. Only saw 23 minutes. I don't really like much of this team. I mean, if we're looking at certain guys, I want maybe some of Josh Jackson. But again, that's kind of meh, in my opinion. There's not much I want. Like I said, a lot of guys are playing minutes on this team, and I can go elsewhere if I want to go to a better matchup. But on the Knicks, I obviously want Julius Randle, the big man on the table. I like his upside that he brings. I mean, we know what he's bringing to the table. He didn't play last game, so we need to watch and see if he's playing this game. But RJ Barrett, 31 minutes, looked good. And his minutes at 82, that's a hefty price tag for him. Kemba Walker, for 21 minutes, didn't really do much. Evan Fournier is more of a scoring-dependent guy. Don't really want much of him. Obi Toppin played a ton of minutes with no Julius Randle, so keep an eye on that. So, moving on to the Denver at OKC game. Looking at Denver. So, it was basically the Michael Porter show and the Highland show. I mean, those two guys are basically getting it done. Highland at 5'8", I love that out of him. Composo saw 26 minutes, but didn't really get much going. PJ Dozier saw 23 minutes, but didn't really do much either. These are just okay guys. The main guys I want is Nikola Jokic at 9'1". I like that. I like Michael Porter Jr. at 7'5". Like I said, I like Highland at 30 minutes, and I like Composo if he can get it done in the minutes he's playing. But other than that, keeping it simple, not much I want. On the Thunder side, minutes are way too spread out. I mean, we saw guys get 15 minutes, and I don't like seeing that out of this team. I like seeing condensed, tight rotations. So I'm not really getting much of maybe. There's not much I want on this Thunder team. I can go elsewhere, and I can project out minutes way easier elsewhere. So let's move on to the final game. Milwaukee at Utah. So on the Bucks, Giannis saw 17 minutes. Milton saw 17 minutes. Holiday saw 17 minutes. These guys are not going to get done in 17 minutes. I'm passing up on them when I can go elsewhere. Giannis at 8'9", I mean, that's a good price tag, yes. But again, I can go elsewhere. Brook Lopez is seeing 20 minutes a game. Meh, in my opinion. So Grayson Allen's on 22 minutes. Again, lots of minutes are going on all over the place. Connaughton saw 18. Walter saw 16. Bryant saw 15. Nwora saw 20. Sweeve saw 20. Too many minutes going elsewhere. I don't like it. I'm moving on to the Utah Jazz. So let's look at the Utah Jazz for the final team on the slate. So on the Jazz, now this is more condensed. We saw Gobert see 24. Mitchell saw 30. Bog saw 26, and then Rodney saw 25. That's what I like to see. I like to see compact minutes. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. I want some of Royce O'Neal at 25 minutes. I like that. And that's a cheap price tag as a value. Bog saw 26. Cheap price tag at 5'5". Ingles saw 20 minutes, which is not bad. Carson saw 18 minutes, and then Pascal saw 17. So that kind of wraps up the slate for us guys. Again, I knocked this out early. We got hockey tonight, which I'm excited about. So thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody has a great and safe rest of their night.